4. Super nostalgic for the N64. One of my favorite consoles. A lot of bad games. I still prefer Super Nintendo over it, but N64 rules. Resident Evil 2 on N64. Still very impressed that this managed to get onto an N64 cartridge. It's actually one of the cooler versions because I'm pretty sure this game comes pre-built with like a randomizer, which is pretty unheard of for the time. Cool game. Oh, man. You'll see. WWF No Mercy. Greatest wrestling game of all time. Me and my brother used to play this one all the time. They don't make them like they used to. Wrestling games nowadays kind of blow. Goemon's Great Adventure. This is actually a really cool game. One of the few side-scrollers on the system. Very expensive game. Then we've got GoldenEye. Great game. Again, I just beat this game on 00 Agent for the first time recently, and it still holds up. Yeah, what can be said about GoldenEye that hasn't already been said a million times? Great game. Love it. Wasn't allowed to play it as a kid growing up, but I was allowed to play The World Is Not Enough for some reason. Mario Party 2. Great game if you want to break your controller. Majora's Mask, another killer game. I actually prefer Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time. I've just beaten Ocarina so many times. It's more about the side quests, you know? Awesome. Snowboard Kids 2, another underrated gem. Very expensive game also. This is probably one of my favorite N64 games, Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. It's a crazy game. The story of it is really bizarre, but it kind of plays like a platformer / Zelda. I mean, it's a really good game, underrated. Super Smash Brothers, just Super Smash Brothers. I actually really like this one. It's like after Melee, then they all followed the Melee formula of games, and I understand why, but like this one feels like its own thing. Really cool. Star Fox 64, banger. Turok 3, I've never beaten this one. I've beaten Turok 1 and 2. Turok 2 is hard. Cool find, cool to have it. That one fell. Kirby 64, look at the shape of that one. It's an okay game. Nothing amazing in my mind. It's cool that you can make like a lightsaber, like you can combine items in this one. I just noticed on this that someone actually tried to someone took a black Sharpie and tried redrawing Kirby on it. Huh. Jet Force Gemini. Love this game. This is another one of my all-time favorites. I actually just finally beat this game for the first time this year. Awesome game. There's nothing else like it. The music is 10 out of 10. Awesome. Pokemon Snap. Good game. I remember being a kid going to Blockbuster and printing out my pictures on little stickers. Good. Superman 64, another of Ernesto's favorite games of all time. I don't know why he would think that, but I don't know. He's got bad taste in games, I guess. I don't know. I don't know why Ernesto would like Superman 64. Banjo-Kazooie, another great game. Yeah, just another collectathon. Really good. Mario Tennis, one of my favorite sports games on the console. Still holds up, a lot of fun to play. Mario Kart 64, another banger. Classic. Kind of hard to go back to nowadays, honestly, in my mind. I just feel like Mario Kart 8 is, honestly, it's really good, you know. Excitebike 64. This game's a lot of fun, but this game's hard as Bomberman 64. Not as good as Super Bomberman, but still a really good game. Pilot Wings 64. Better than Super Nintendo version. This was one of the first N64 games that my brother and I owned. It's actually pretty fun to go back to. Rainbow Six on N64. I'm really nostalgic for this game, and I still like this game. It's not that good, but I still like it. Honestly, it's like this game ends up being like a horror game at times, just because it'll be totally silent, and then there's just like random, like almost jump scare style sounds. I like it. Conker's Bad Fur Day. Awesome game. My brother and I used to play this one so much that even to this day I catch my mom singing the Great Mighty Pooh song. What can be said about Conker's Bad Fur Day? Really expensive nowadays. Ocarina of Time, one of the greatest games of all time, yada yada yada, this game rules. If you haven't played Ocarina of Time, what the hell? Go play it. It's on everything nowadays. Diddy Kong Racing. I like this one more than Mario Kart 64. It's got a single player campaign, there's more variety. The level design is really good. They never did come out with Donkey Kong Racing, and I know I've seen that ad millions of times over the years. Super Mario 64, awesome game, great platformer. I've completed this game many times. Yeah. Bomberman Hero. This game's better than Bomberman 64. It's a little bit more of like a single player adventure than the other one, but just the level design, it's actually a fun game. Go play it. Aero Fighters Assault. It's not a shmup, but it feels like a 3D shmup. It's okay. It's just a flying game, you know. It's okay. Snowboard Kids 1. Not as good as Snowboard Kids 2, but awesome game. Used to stay up with my friends playing this one all the time. Very expensive. Turok 2. Very nostalgic for it. This game's gory as cerebral bore is awesome. Very hard. There's only like 4 levels in the game, and I just beat it for the first time recently. Lair of the Blind Ones is one of the hardest levels that I've ever played in any video game. That level. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, another skateboarding game. This one's super sick. I can kind of speedrun this game. It's a lot of fun for me to just go in there and try to beat the whole game in like 20 minutes. It's not hard to do, but it's a lot of fun every time. Great soundtrack too. Freaking Dead Kennedys, Suicidal Tendencies. World Is Not Enough. Not as good as GoldenEye, but kind of more creative in its own way. It's fine. Probably no real reason to go back to it nowadays if you've never played it, but yeah. Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron's super sick. Got this one for Christmas one year. Yeah, probably one of the best Star Wars games to ever come out in my opinion. F-Zero X. This game rules. Oh my god, that's nostalgic. Property of Blockbuster. Another one I got for Christmas one year. This game is, it's fast as hell and it's a lot of fun, even today. I would like for them to come out with a new F-Zero game, but I don't feel like they ever really will. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. A lot of people say that this one's better than the first one. I still prefer the first one. Something about the simplicity of it. Whereas this one, it's like they're just, I don't know. Still like an amazing game nonetheless. Blast Corps. This game, when I was a kid, I was not a fan of it, but going back and playing it now, it's fun. It's weird. You just go around, you just like destroy buildings and all that, just escort missions. This is a weird one. Load Runner 3D. It's good. Robotron 64. If you've ever played Robotron, this game is just the N64 version of it. And it's actually kind of cool because you can plug in 2 controllers and use both joysticks, kind of like dual controls early on. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, it's cool. South Park Rally. This game sucks, but it's South Park, so I have to own it. Harvest Moon 64. Got this one really late. I hear it's great. I don't think I'll ever really get into it. I'd rather play Stardew Valley at this point. Harvest Moon. Star Wars Battle of Naboo. Not as good as Rogue Squadron. Not even close. Still really cool. Oh, do I have Star Wars Episode 1 Racer? I don't know. Yoshi's Story. Kind of a basic game, but at the same time, I'm real nostalgic for it. It was a lot of fun for me as a kid, just going around and trying to get all the different levels or different endings. Yeah. Ooh, Blitz 2001. This and Tecmo Super Bowl are like the greatest football games ever made. This game is still to this day awesome. Blitz. Yeah. Perfect Dark. Not as good as GoldenEye. I know a lot of people will argue with me about that. Still an amazing game, but GoldenEye just got like the level design and all that right. There are quite a few moments in this game where you're just gonna get stuck and be like, what do I do? Why is nothing happening? But yeah, it's still awesome. Great multiplayer. Great multiplayer. Pokemon Stadium. I guess this game pack belongs to Lara. It's kind of hard to see it. But yeah, classic game. You just battle in 3D. It's cool. Toy Story 2. I don't think I've ever really played this one. I don't even know where this one came from. I don't remember buying this one. Shadow Man. This game I'm not a fan of, but it looks really cool. Yeah. Forsaken 64. This game is freaking weird. It's like a first-person flying shooter. It's not bad. It's weird, you know? 1080 Snowboarding, love this game. Classic N64 right here. I remember a lot of the tricks being super hard. Like I've still to this day never actually done a 1080 because the controls are like, press R, do a 360 on the control stick. Press Z, do another 360 on the control stick. Press Z again. Too much, but at the same time, it's still fun. Killer soundtrack, really good soundtrack. Command & Conquer on N64. Command & Conquer rules, but this version doesn't. Armorines. I always wanted to like this game more than I actually did. It looks cool, just Armor Rings, Project Swarm. The best bug killing game on the console is definitely Jet Force Gemini, not this or that Body Harvest. NFL Blitz, the original. Not as good as 2001, but still sick. Army Men Sergeant's Heroes 2. Sergeant's Heroes 1 was better, in my mind. Classic. Yeah. Whatever happened to the Army Men games? Turok, awesome. Just kill dinosaurs. What more needs to be said? Quake, great game. I actually beat Quake for the first time like a year or two ago. This version sucks, but the game itself, awesome. I used to have Doom 64 too. I don't know where it went. Chef's Love Shack, not very good, but me and my friends used to play the hell out of this game. It's just like a trivia game and it just asks random questions like, I don't even know. It's interesting, it's fun. Especially if you like South Park. Speaking of South Park, this game is dog. It's a first-person shooter where you can go around and like throw snowballs at people and like turkeys and all that. You can pee on the snowballs to make them more effective. Funny, but not good. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. This game still holds up. This game is a blast. I got it on my Switch and just playing through it again, it's like still feels really fast. One of the best Star Wars games in my mind. Definitely the best Episode 1 game. We got Duke Nukem 64. Duke Nukem 64 is just Duke Nukem, but on an N64. It's awesome. Cruisin' USA. Cruisin' USA. This version I actually don't really remember playing too much, but I mean, who didn't play a bunch of Cruisin' back in the arcades back in the day, like Cruisin' World, Cruisin' USA? It's an arcade classic. Mission Impossible. I don't know. I don't even remember buying this one. I never played it, but I have it. Oh, then in my console right now, of course I got Donkey Kong 64. A lot of people hate this game, too many collectibles or whatever. I love this game. It's like peak collectathon game. Got this for Christmas back in either 99 or no, it was definitely 1999. Love this game. It's awesome. Oh, and then I got one last Super Nintendo game, but I do also own Final Fantasy III. Great game. And that does it for N64.